Do you recommend? I guess I may jump the answer out before I even ask the question. You recommend that all business owners get their 2020 tax returns done first before they apply for this loan?
I don't think that would be a bad idea, just because you're going in as opposed to the first time where tax season was done,
Mhm.
we were just everybody was trying to figure out what was going on with the lockdowns and everything because of it was officially I think March 13th. So a lot
Mhm.
of folks had already, done their taxes at that point. This time you have that for, you're able to look forward and say, okay, right? So you have more time to be more strategic. So I would say if you can, to go ahead and get your 2020 taxes prepared, so that you can at least compare, what you've done and what your stuff is going to look like in 2020 in comparison to 2019.
All right. Well, do you have any other? Let me ask you this. Do you have any other like final thoughts you want to kind of tell people? I know we talked about PPP, but just overall, just business planning, bookkeeping. That in this last year, I know you said show documentation, but anything
Mhm,
other than that, or what should they look for in choosing like
mhm,
an accountant to manage
mhm.
the books and stuff?
Well, I want to have one point with PPP,
Mhm.
and then it's really my feedback for all of the services, but for PPP in particular, those of us in the tax preparation and accounting world, that work with minority owned businesses and women owned businesses, I issue a challenge to you guys, and I also issue a challenge to individual taxpayers. We know now, right? Like we know this information that we talked about during this podcast, and that I'm sure you probably experienced yourself because you were not approved last year, or someone who was not approved last year, and so you felt that sting. We know now. So my challenge, is that we pick up the baton where it was left, and we have those conversations, that we provide the numbers to our clients, and that you as a client, that you challenge the person who is doing your taxes to have a conversation with you about your bankability, because that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about minority owned businesses ability to be able to access funding, to be able to continue to run their businesses in such a time as this. And that requires you to have a conversation and to know your numbers, period. Is no way around it. I mean, you can go to any type of coach you want to, but if you do not have your accounting software in order, not just bought it, but actually in there doing reconciliations, working with a professional, knowing what your financial reports are saying and that is accurate. If you are not working with someone who can prepare your taxes and have a conversation, I challenge you to have that conversation, because that is where the movement is. I firmly believe that when it comes to the true unlocking access to capital for minority owned businesses, it is surrounding our numbers, knowing our numbers. Find someone that you can trust. No, that's a no judgment zone, right? Because we know that we have some work to do. If you've been in operation for some time and you need to get caught up on taxes, okay, find someone, no judgment zone, that you can trust, that knows their stuff. We've been doing taxes, my staff, for over 40 years. It's not a small business tax return scenario that we probably have not seen. You know what I mean? Seriously, in our community. But you're gonna have to identify that and start having conversations about your numbers. If we didn't learn anything, and we learned a lot, a whole
Mhm.
bunch in the last 18 months. But if we didn't learn anything as business owners, And those of us that are still here and said, I'm committing to remaining in business, a part of that is you investing in yourself, in your decision to remain in business and know what your numbers are. Have an accounting system where someone, a professional, is in there and you're having conversation, you're setting goals. Right? You're doing forecasting. You're doing cash flow forecasting. You know what I mean? You're getting caught up on tax. That's where it's at. That's the movement. Right. And so I've really, just from all of this, and having all these conversations with business owners, I've really pivoted my business as well in advocacy. Right. I mean, I went to DC and had the wonderful opportunity to testify on Capitol Hill about this very thing. Yeah. I mean, because it's something that I truly am passionate about, because it's not something that's hidden. This is obvious, but we, just naturally have anxiety when it comes to numbers. And that could be linked to institutionalized racism. We have to be honest about that. There's reasons why we feel that way. We have that apprehension towards our numbers. However, they're not going anywhere. They're just because you don't want to look at it does not mean that it's going to go away. So today is a good day to be a business owner. We have all these opportunities going on. You hung in there. You're still here after all of this stuff. So I challenge you, and I say, start having conversations so you can know your numbers.
Because even some of the software program is so cheap, it's down even like $15 a month. You could just
I mean, you have Wave, which is free. And I think even their free plan comes with now, at first, when they first started, you couldn't do reconciliations in there. So I shied away from it really. But last I checked, their free plan did allow for bank reconciliations, which is key. Of course, QuickBooks as well. They have a one that's, I think, $8 a month, $12 a month. Come on now. Y'all know we spend that on something way worse than having an accounting system. And really, they're making them so user-friendly now. But I still say, that you want to have on your team someone who knows this stuff, and who also, you need a person who is not only just doing accounting or bookkeeping, but also knows taxes. And a lot of people think by default that all comes in one package, and it doesn't, right? You can have an accountant that doesn't do taxes, or you can have a person that does taxes that knows nothing about bookkeeping, you know what I mean? Or nothing about payroll, or nothing about loan packaging, or what you need to be able to successfully get approved for a loan. So you're going to have to do your due diligence, right? Before you invest in a person. But there are those of us that are out here that are ready, you know what I mean, to, like I said, to get this movement up and going even stronger, taking opportunities where they are, right? Like we've already learned last year. Now it's time to have even more wins this year.
Do you know what's happening in Birmingham? Find out now with the all-new What's Happening Birmingham app. Download today on Android, iPhone, and iPad for free. Get info on everything you need to know about local news, events, businesses, restaurants, and more. Visit our website, what'shappeningbirmingham.com, follow us on Twitter at HappeningBham, or call us at 205-538-4508. Download the What's Happening Birmingham app today. What's Happening Birmingham, your source for everything Birmingham.